It's your girl, Professor Cinephile, and I'm back. Welcome back. I'm so happy that you're here. If this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. Welcome to my little space in the world, where I review films. And it's because I love doing this. So welcome. It is your girl, Professor Cinephile. Don't mind me, y'all. I like to have fun sometimes. All right. So this time I am going to be discussing Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. This film has been out in theaters for a few weeks now, and I finally got the opportunity to go see it, and I'm so excited that I did. Um, you should know that I have always appreciated the Planet of the Apes kind of story, right? For those who don't know, Planet of the Apes, when it came out in the 60s, it really was a commentary on American race relations. And I need people to see that. A lot of the sci-fi and dystopian stuff that was coming out in the 60s, in the 70s, really was, commenting on race relations in the United States, the civil rights movement, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, all those kinds of things. And I think that that's really key to understanding my love of the Planet of the Apes and the whole story arc, right? So you've got television shows, you've got films, you've got all these things in which, you know, apes and humans are kind of positioned oftentimes against each other, sometimes working together, but the commentary in it is like, oh my gosh, there's just so many different themes that we can pick out in these films, right? Planet of the Apes was, has been around for almost 60 years, y'all. Like I need you to clock it. I need you to clock it for what it is. It's been around for a very long time. But the modern versions, right? The modern films, and the reason why they keep making them is because people like them, right? People they won't continue to make films that aren't popular. People are going to see it. I know when I went, and the film has been out for a few weeks, and I went, and my theater was packed. And this was, when did we go see this? I think it was like in the middle of the day, maybe, and it was like a 3-something show. It was still packed. Okay, so people are loving it. Kingdom is, oh gosh, it might be my favorite one. It might be my favorite one. I don't know. We're gonna hold on to that. I'm not gonna make that statement definitively, but it is up there. It is definitely one that I'm like, oh, watch that again and again. So, spoiler alert, gonna give you a spoiler alert. I may talk about some things that happen in this film. If you don't want it to be ruined, pause right now, come back after you've seen the film, and then, you can join in on the discussion, leave some comments, leave your thoughts. I always appreciate them. If you are watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're watching it elsewhere, hit that like button and show me some love. All right, so Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is set like in the future beyond any of the other films that we've seen. Okay, so if you remember that Caesar is like head ape, Caesar's dead. Caesar's gone. Caesar's no longer a part of this. We are several generations removed from Caesar. Okay. We are at a time now where of the flu, there's like a flu, I can't remember, it was like a simian flu, some kind of flu or virus got into human beings and rendered them unable to speak. Right. So you have this world where, oh, and obviously the apes learned how to speak because of the same thing. If you watched any of the recent films, you'd see that there was like this mutation and stuff where, excuse me, apes were able to learn how to talk and how to communicate. And so not only can they communicate with humans, they can communicate with themselves. But in this future world, they still have the remnants of speaking English, because of course it's the English is the language that they learned, um, not Mandarin, but okay. They learned English and they're still able to speak it, but they also know American Sign Language. And so they're able to sign with each other. And it almost seems like different clans of apes have different ways of signing with each other. And you kind of pick up on that when they don't want others to know what they're saying, they will not revert, they will shift to sign language. And so it almost suggests that other apes can't understand what they are signing. So that's actually kind of cool. And that speaks to let me tell you something. There's so many themes, but what I saw that as is, you know how like conservative folks will be like, we speak English in this country, but the United States has no official language, and they get really upset when Spanish speakers are speaking Spanish around them and they feel like something's being hidden. It was kind of giving that vibe, like they were kind of touching on that a bit. So you have these three apes. And they're led by Noah. I mean, it's a three of them. They're kind of raised together in the same clan, the Eagle Clan, and they're called the Eagle Clan because the apes can basically communicate with eagles. They raise eagles, they love them, they shelter them, they train them. They are bonded with eagles, and so you've got these three apes. And they are trying to fulfill their destiny of being like, you know, I guess eagle charmers. You've got Noah, you've got Suna, you've got Anaya. And so Noah is a guy, Suna is a girl, and Anaya is a guy. And they start off, they're trying to like find these like eggs and stuff so that they can, these like eagle eggs, and those are the eagles that they're going to be bonded with and they're going to create this lifelong relationship with. So it kind of starts out with that. And we're seeing how the apes live, no humans around, right? But it's interesting because they call them echoes. They don't, you know, they don't refer to them as humans. They call them echoes. And that's really interesting. I'd love to know a little bit more about that. I don't want to speculate, but it almost gives me, you know, since the humans can't talk, it almost gives me the vibe of these humans are a copy of who we are. Like the apes are the dominant, they are the original, and the humans are like an echo of the apes, right? So when you go to a mountain and you shout out and you've got this echo and then it fades as it goes along, like humans are an echo of the apes, right? Oh, it's so brilliant. But yeah, so echoes, they think of them as scavengers. They think of them as like these really harmful people or these harmful beings that threaten the apes' lives. But it's not really the humans that are threatening them. It's other tribes or other clans of apes, namely one that claims to be acting out Caesar's will, but they've manipulated Caesar's words and everything that he gave the apes for self-serving purposes. Sounds a lot like religion in some ways, right? So they talk about Caesar and they actually use his words, but they've twisted it, right? Talking about apes stronger together, but the way that they're using it is actually harming the apes. So I thought that was really interesting. And so Noah, it's okay. The biggest spoiler, this is the goddamn Lion King, right? When you're watching Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, it very much was giving Lion King. You've got this young man, he watches his father die. His father is like ruler of the clan. He watches him die. He goes off, you know, on this mission to basically recover the rest of his clan, but he's got to find himself along the way. As he's going along, he runs into this ape named Raka. Raka's an old orangutan who knows the original teachings of Caesar, and he basically blows up everything Noah thinks that he knew about humans and about other apes and how they used to get along. So we have this journey where he's basically trying to find the rest of his clan and rescue them. He encounters this human named Nova, but well, they call her Nova, but her name is really May. She is coming from a place where she can still talk, y'all, but she fakes it and pretends to be quiet. She can still talk. And what she's looking for is technology that can help humans learn to speak again. And so she's got her own mission. And it's not that she's anti-ape, she's pro-human. And so she sees like a lot of the devastation that some of the apes have caused, and she wants to avoid it because her goal and her mission is to help humans be able to speak again. And we see scenes where we see groups of humans, they do not talk, they've been rendered speechless. And it's really interesting. But then you've got like this whole situation where it almost mimics like they are being kidnapped from the continent. Okay, it kind of touched me a bit because it was very much giving West Coast, like the coastal beaches of Western Africa, where, you know, African people were kidnapped and enslaved and brought to these kind of beaches to be sold to Europeans and things like that. And so it was given a bit of that where you have like these apes who have twisted minds, and they are basically enslaving other apes. And it was really powerful. Like if you make that connection and if you think about like Ghana, Nigeria, you know, other places like that, you think about just the scenes of like both the human and the ape with their arms tied, attached to a rope that is being dragged by other apes, and they're being pulled into this colony where other apes are basically enslaved. It was powerful, y'all. I was a little like when I was watching the film. Um, and then, you know, they have this whole basically this whole thing where, you know, this human, May slash Nova, all she wants to do is just find a technology that she knows can help humans talk, but within it's located in this like big kind of arc kind of situation, this building that's been closed off. The apes are trying to figure out how to get in. She knows how to get in. She also understands that it has to be destroyed because in there are lots of guns, heavy artillery, bombs, all these kinds of things. And she knows that if the apes that are in charge end up getting, you know, their hands on that, it's just not going to be a good look. So her goal is to get what she needs and then destroy the whole thing. And that's, you know, kind of how it goes along. But this is one of those films where you you have to think, you have to contextualize it historically. You have to think about the relationship between human beings and animals, the relationship between human beings and technology, weaponization of natural resources and technology. What happens when humans lose their dominance in the world, right? Maybe we're no longer at the top of the so-called food chain, right? What does that mean? And how does that play out between men and women? How does that play out racially? Like all those things. So if you're someone who really loves when like dystopian stories, science fiction really hit on some very serious you know, societal issues and things like that, I really think you're going to enjoy Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I'm going to give Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes 4 hearts. Not quite 5. I'm going to give it 4 hearts. Definitely recommend you go see it when you can. It'll probably be streaming soon because that's what's happening with all of our films. Yeah, I think you're going to like it. I do. Let me know what you think in the comments if you saw it. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button, share with folks, let them know I'm over here and I am doing film reviews. And I look forward to seeing you guys the next time. Take care.